How I feel? Blessed. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she clap her hips, and shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about if the Washington Commanders actually go on a real run and make a deep playoff run at that. Would they consider bringing back Ron Rivera for his final year of his contract? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please help me get there as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So I first want to say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a morning video. Hope your Friday is starting off well, whether you're at work, whether you're chilling, whatever you're doing. Hopefully it is a great day for you. A great start to the weekend. The Washington Commanders is set to go on the road to face the Seattle Seahawks. So we're going up north to Seattle to face the Seattle Seahawks and 4:25 kickoff. Yeah, that's up north, right? That's Pacific Standard Time. You know, Pacific, whatever. We're going to the West Coast. All right. And this is a big game for the Commanders. As we know, Ron Rivera is typically a coach that has a hot November. We already got it started last week with the victory over the New England Patriots. And we're looking to continue building and continuing to try to get back into this playoff chase by getting a victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Now, it's almost to a point where everyone is expecting this 4-game win streak. And we know every year around this time and we get hot, we start talking about playoffs. Playoffs is something that Washington hasn't been a part of since 2020 and realistically haven't earned their way in since 2015. This team has the talent to make the playoffs and quite frankly should be 6-3. But to me, and like other fans, the coaching staff has been a big part as to why we're not where we should be right now. The team is ready to win, in my opinion. The team is just not led properly. The Washington Commanders have an opportunity to potentially move on from Ron Rivera at the end of this season with the new regime of Josh Harris and the rest of the ownership group. However, if the Washington Commanders turn this season around and actually get over that hump of late season collapsing and making it to the playoffs, and not only making it to the playoffs, but winning a game or two, would that make the Washington Commanders front office decide to bring Ron Rivera back for his final contract? Me personally, I think unless a deep playoff run is up for Ron Rivera or, in the future of Ron Rivera, I don't see him coming back. He is on his fourth year of his contract, and what a lot of people have to realize is he does still have one more year on his contract, so he doesn't necessarily have to get moved. But I think with the new ownership here, even if he goes on a deep playoff run, unless it's like a NFC Championship win or NFC Championship appearance, or a Super Bowl appearance or something like that. And I know this is crazy. Why are you even talking about that? We're a 4-win team. I know, but the video was just about Ron Rivera being back, and this is what it's going to take. Nothing short of an NFC Championship appearance is going to allow Ron Rivera from being back, at least in my opinion. And that's the question that I really want to ask you guys is like, are you willing to deal with it? Are you willing to sacrifice an opportunity to not make it to the deep playoffs because you want Ron Rivera fired? Or are you willing to sacrifice a year where Washington could potentially get hot and make it to the playoffs and make a deep playoff run, knowing that if we make it to the playoffs and make it to the NFC Championship and or Super Bowl, whatever, and again, that just sounds so crazy, but make it that far, are you willing to have Ron Rivera back? So this is where I'm at with it. Right now, I think Ron Rivera is still in the hot seat. I think he's still going to get fired at the end of this season. I think Washington has an opportunity to turn the season around, and I think they're going to compete. I think they're going to potentially pull off 4 straight, 3 straight, whatever, but I think they're going to have a late season collapse like they always do, and we're probably going to finish 8-9, 7-10. Again, how we typically do. However, if Washington flips the script and they actually do it different this year, and they don't have a late season collapse, and we somehow get in the playoffs at 9-8, 10-7, something like that, Washington then goes into the playoffs and they win a game or two. And then like, you never know, man. You blink, they're in the NFC Championship. Like something crazy like that, right? Me personally, if we found a way to get to the NFC Championship with Ron Rivera or Super Bowl, whatever, and they decided to bring him back, I'll be like, dang. But at the same time, I wouldn't be mad because Ron, that's his final year of his contract. Like after next season, you can let Ron Rivera go off in the sunset, and then you can promote Eric Bieniemy as head coach again. Because again, Eric Bieniemy has also signed a multi-year deal. This isn't it. We had just assumed that Eric Bieniemy was going to be so good this year, and other teams were going to poach him away to be a head coach. And we didn't take in consideration that there are other options out there that could potentially be better than Eric Bieniemy. So Eric Bieniemy does not necessarily have to go anywhere this offseason. So you run it. Say if you make it to a deep playoff run, do you run it back again? I know a lot of people are not gonna like to hear that because they want change, and I'm with you. I want change too. But again, I don't know how you fire a coach. Though, you know what I'm saying? That makes a deep playoff run and or, Super Bowl appearance, and you just fire him after that. Like, I know how bad Ron Rivera has been, trust me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, that is so far-fetched and so unrealistic that if it happens, I would just be totally shocked. And it's like, how could you make changes after that? But again, who am I kidding, okay? We know that that's not going to happen, and that's why Ron Rivera is going to be fired at the end of the season. I am fully confident in that statement because I don't see this team pulling off a miracle like that. I think this team is going to compete. I think this team is going to be right on the outside looking in at the playoffs, but I think this team is going to have a late season collapse how they typically do. Their late season schedule goes like Miami, the Jets, then I think it's the 49ers, and I think it's Dallas. You're probably not going to win. You're probably not going to win many games, okay, out of that 4 stretch. Again, it's very possible, but I just don't see this team not collapsing how they used to, how they typically do, right? So you can pull off 4 straight here. You can beat the Patriots, which you already did. You can beat Seattle. Then you can beat the Giants, and then you could potentially beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. But that doesn't stop the fact that you probably after that 4-game stretch, after that game, you're probably going to lose to Miami. It wouldn't surprise me if you found a way to lose to the potential Carson Wentz-led Rams. And then you could also lose to the Jets. That's December 24th. Aaron Rodgers is saying he's going to be back in a couple weeks. So we could be the team to unfortunately have to face Aaron Rodgers in his first game back or whatever. And then you got the 49ers and the Cowboys again. So, again, these games are not death threats or death notes, I should say. It's a chance that we could win, but how confident are you in this team's ability to win based off of how we performed late season and late in the season twice under Ron Rivera? Like, this is the thing about it is we try to believe in this team and we try to think things are different, but it's just so much trauma and it's so much like facts and what's the word I'm looking for here? Like PTSD in the sense of we already know how this movie is going to end. 2022, how did it end? You got hot. You 7-5. You have an opportunity. You have the Giants right there for the taking twice. You tied with them once, and then the second time you get absolutely embarrassed on Sunday Night Football. Like obviously, the penalty flag, Curtis Samuel. I get that, but we still didn't play good that game. Okay, then you have an opportunity to still be in it, and then your coach doesn't know that you can be eliminated, right? Your coach decides to put Carson Wentz back in, and you don't know how. And then you see that you can be eliminated. Come on, man. So you don't make a change that game. Like we shot ourselves in the foot so many times, and then in 2021, granted, it was a little far-fetched, but this team had an opportunity. Try to think back to that 2021 season. This team had an opportunity to make it to the playoffs, man. They did. If I still strongly believe if Taylor Heineke does not catch COVID in 2021, we make the playoffs. Because you had an opportunity to beat Philly twice. Once with Garrett Gilbert, you took him to the limit because Taylor Heineke got COVID. I think if Taylor Heineke plays that game, we win. And then the second time at home, Taylor Heineke throws a back-crushing pick that seals your fate, right? You had opportunities that year 2 in 2021 to make this team, make the playoffs, but your late season mishaps happened again. So this is like, I'm almost expecting it again. Like, even if we pull off 4 straight here, I just almost expect us to, okay, you lose to the Dolphins. All right, that's that. I'm not gonna be mad at that, okay, because the Dolphins are a good team. I know they're struggling right now, but by the time we see them, they're probably gonna have their stuff fixed out, right? So let's just randomly say you get back to what? That'll be 6-5 headed into Dallas, right? Because you went on the road this weekend, you're back to 5-5. You're 6-5 going into that game after you beat the Giants, hopefully, into that Dallas game, right? And let's just say you magically beat Dallas, right? So then you're 7-5, sitting right back at 7-5 again, right? That was the number last year, right? 7-5. You go to 7-5, and then you lose to the Dolphins. All right, that's cool. I almost expect to lose to the Dolphins, right? 7-6. But then you got the lonely Rams there for the taking. This is the game right here that I could just see us just collapsing in. This is the Rams team that's not that good because their quarterback position is abysmal. No healthy Matthew Stafford. Brett Rippon was trash. Carson Wentz is having to go over there now. So I could see us dropping this game. I'm almost like just scared of this Rams game because I think we're going to play down to our competition and just have one of those games where we just don't show up. And that's the game right there that's probably going to seal our fate for the season. Honestly. And then after that, you got the Jets. The Jets is another team that you can win against because their offense is trash. But you want to know what's good? Their defense. One of the best in the NFL. And I know our team is capable of scoring. But again, this is late in the season. You still have a very young quarterback. All right? And if the Rams game isn't a letdown, going to MetLife Stadium for the second time this year. Remember, the first time we went there was against the Giants, and we had a 7-14 kind of game. This can be a game where we struggle. And if we struggle offensively, right, it could be a long day because we know our defense is not that good, right? But their offense is not that good. But you never know because Aaron Rodgers probably going to be back, right? So, again, it's tricky. That's why this 4-game stretch is so important because even after the Jets game, you got the 49ers at home. That's going to be a tough one. Chase Young's making his return back to FedEx Field. That's going to be a tough one. And then you got the Cowboys closing it out. So, again, I want to believe. I really do. I do, and I want to. But I just don't know how I can with how these last 2 seasons ended. I know how Ron Rivera's story is going to finish. We're going to get hot, potentially. Right? And then we're just going to have a let up. Like, again, if this is how it can play out for me, this is how I think Washington can make the playoffs. You beat Seattle, you beat the Giants, and you beat the Cowboys, right? You're back to 6-5, right? You lose to the Dolphins, you're 6-6. All right, cool. You're 6-6. Then you would have to beat the Rams. That's 7-6. This like as good as Aaron Rodgers could be for this Jets team. He's coming off of an Achilles rupture/tear. If this is his first game back, even if he comes back, there's no way you think he can be 100%. So we will have to get after Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think we have the pass rush to get after him. But let's say you beat the Rams, so you're 7-6, and you have to beat the Jets. Like they're inept on offense. Like it will have to be one of those games where the offense will have to win us the game because I think their defense, the Jets defense, is really good, but I don't know if I have faith in our defense ability to create turnovers because our defense is gonna be able to get stops, right? They're gonna be able to get stops because that offense is not that good. But who's gonna score the points? Has to be our offense. So if you find a way to win versus the Rams, you find a way to win versus the Jets, you're 8-6, right? So then that allows you to just potentially need one more victory between the Rams and the Cowboys. How confident are you in either one of those games? I'm more so confident in our ability to beat the Cowboys at home than to beat the 49ers at home. But, again, you never know because Dallas may not even need that game, right? But they probably want to play for pride to put their most hated rival, or used to be most hated rival, out of the playoffs, right? So there's a path. Don't get me wrong, but it starts with Seattle. I can come back here Monday morning, Monday day, whatever, and we can come back here and Washington could be 4-6. And it's like, all right, everything we just talked about made the path for the playoffs is out the window. So realistically, I see Washington potentially beating Seattle. I see them beating the Giants. And let's just say you get to what? You get to 6-5 versus the Cowboys, or versus the Cowboys. And let's say, unfortunately, you lose on Thanksgiving to the Cowboys. So now you're 6-6 coming out of that game where you have a Dolphins team that's really good at home that you're probably gonna have to win. But let's just say you lose that game. All right, you're 6-7, 2-game losing streak after losing to Dallas at Thanksgiving and the Dolphins. So you're 6-7. Then you go on the road to beat LA. That's a must win at that point. And if we're coming off a 2-game losing streak, I feel confident in us beating the Rams. But I still am a little nervous. But you're 6-7, so you're 7-7 after that, right? After you beat the Rams, then you have to beat the Jets, 8-7, right? And then you got the 49ers and Cowboys at home. And I think it's just going to take one of those wins. You're going to have two. I think it's going to come down to the point where you're going to have 2 chances to win one game to get to 9-7 to get that 7th wild card spot. That's how I see it planning out. Now, I'm praying to God that it doesn't play out that way and we're better. But this is just how I see it planning out because I feel like I know Ron Rivera like the back of my hand. But that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to break that down to you guys. What do you think out there? What do you think is going to happen? Please leave it down below in the comment section. How would you feel about it? If Ron Rivera found a way to get this team to the playoffs and make a deep playoff run, would you be comfortable enough with letting him finish out his last year of his contract, or do you want him gone and you don't care how this thing play out? Like, you're willing to sacrifice an opportunity to make a deep playoff run to get Ron Rivera gone? Please let me know how y'all feel about that. Please down below in the comment section. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See y'all later. I'm out. Peace.